I think I'm live. Hi, this is Patty from pspapercrafts, and thanks for joining me if you're joining me live today. If not, thanks for watching the replay. So I am going to use the Slim Sayings new bundle. Let me just mute myself on my computer, sorry. So this is a new bundle and I love it. It has some great bold sentiments, and then it has these great dies to create a background or an edge for the slimline style cards. So you get two dies for background pieces, and this is what I used for this card. And then you also have these edges. So if you wanted to make a card where you, oof, I haven't taken them off. I haven't used this piece yet. If you wanted to make a card and make a pretty edge to it, you could do that. And there's a different style. So I think these are great. I do have on my blog from yesterday, I made this. So I used this style. And I just used some designer series paper and soft succulent. I chose soft succulent because I have a matching envelope. Isn't that nice? So the great thing about the new products is that there's slimline envelopes. So you get 15 envelopes and you get 5 in each color. So there's smoky slate, there's soft succulent, and there's white. Whoops, there's the white. And they have pretty flaps. So I think they're great. So I was very excited about this and made this card. You can find all the measurements on my blog from yesterday. And then we're going to make another card like this, but with different colors today. So for this one, I just did black. I was looking for I didn't want to use white for the background. So I was looking for something kind of subtle. And I came across, I always look at my designer series paper, and this is the Simply Elegant designer series paper. And I thought this was perfect for this card. And then I used the Hello Friend for the little birdie and my inside layer. So the hope you have the best birthday is from this. So I thought these were great. And today we're going to do a little bit of a different look. Let me move things around here. So let me get rid of this. And then you also have like the alternate pieces. So I cut this out twice with this. So now if I wanted to, I could fit in these pieces and make a card kind of the opposite of this one. And I used the tag die for this, which I thought was perfect for this sentiment. So let's move on to what we're going to do today. And that's stuck there. Okay, so let me get this over here. We're going to use this die again today. And we're going to make a card using... I always, as I said, look through my designer series paper and try to find something that I think would be cool. So I have gold, and then there's some gold in this paper. And I thought this was too busy. I kind of actually was looking, and I thought this was too busy. I love this, but I also thought it was too busy. Let me get it out. It might be okay. I don't know. I think this is just a beautiful piece of designer series paper. So what I ended up doing was I cut so that I only have a little bit of this. It's not like too much. But if you like that look, just look through your designer series paper. I knew I wanted to make one with some gold, so I was looking for a gold paper. So the first thing we're going to do is just cut our piece. And what I found was if you cut this at 3.5 and it's 8.5, it gives you a little edge, a little room to play with. And let me just tell you the size of the card base. So this is polished pink, which goes with the paper. And I took an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and I cut it down to 7 because I want the 8.5 side. And then I scored it at 3.5. So that gave me, so this is just an extra piece. So that gave me this size. And then when I cut this, I did 3.5 by 8.5. Okay, so let's get our die cutting machine out. And if you have a warped plate, it makes it a little more difficult. So dig out a good plate, a flat plate if you can, because this will take up the entire plate. It's really It goes from end to end. And you have to make sure that you have it cut all the way through end to end. And actually, I think I'm going to do it. I didn't do it this way before, but I think I'm going to put it upside down. Because, and I always keep a top plate that I don't cut into. But I want to make sure the edges are cut. I did have a problem with that before, that it wasn't completely edge to edge. So that looks good. I'm going to put this down. Okay, and we'll cut it. So now it's, see, it's pushing it a little bit. I just want to make sure. It's very kind of tight, and that's where I said if you have a, what is wrong here? If you have a warped plate, it's not going to work. It's very kind of tight here. I'm trying to do it while I'm holding it. Sorry, this shouldn't be such a problem once I get it started. There we go. I think it's because it's so big. Okay. And maybe I don't have everything lined up so good. Sorry if it's shaking. Whoa. Okay. So now we have our piece, and what I was trying to tell you was to make sure it's cut all the way through, which it is. Okay. So let's take this off and get rid of this. So it just takes a little bit of, I don't know, extra effort to get it through, but it will work. So now we have our piece. And see, it's not cut here. So I would run this through again, but I do have a piece, so I'm going to just swish this aside. And I do already have a piece cut. But what I would do with this one is just run it through after I got all the pieces out. I would just run it through again. I would guide it to the right place, lock it in, and we could do that just so you see what I'm talking about. Lock it in and just cut that edge, just so you don't think I'm telling you something that's not right here. So I'm just going to put it down here, and you'll feel that it locks in, and we only want to do that little edge. We don't want to do anything else because it might get off kilter here. Let me just get this piece out. This is turning into a little bit of a problem here. Okay, so I'm locked in, and I just want to cut that edge. Just that little bit. So I'm just going to go through, and then I'm going to go back. And hopefully that worked. We'll see. There we go. So that worked. So that's just a way to... Oh, but I cut the edge off. I'm sorry, I'm doing this live. I'm going to use the one that I had already cut out, and it did cut very well, and maybe because I did it upside down. That was, so don't do it upside down. I was just trying to show you that you have to get the edges cut good. So don't do as I say, don't do as I do as I say. So I would cut it the way you normally cut. So now we're going to just put this on here, and I thought this was really pretty with the gold in the background. So I'm going to get my silicone mat, and I'm going to just put glue around here. Now there's some big areas that's easy to glue, right? So you can do these, and then you just want to kind of dot. You want to make sure the edges are good. So dot around and try to get some of, you know, the sides especially glued. So I'm just gonna go right around here, and now I'm getting glue on the silicone mat, so you have to be careful of that because you don't want to get glue, especially on this, because it is the gold foil. Okay, so I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to try to do it right here, and just get some of these edges done. So as any of you who follow me, you know that I live in Florida, and can you believe it was 33 degrees yesterday and 37 degrees this morning. But then the days are absolutely beautiful. This is my time of year down here, I'll tell you. I mean, overnight is a little chilly, but during the day, it's in the low 60s, and it's just beautiful weather. I love it. But eventually, or in the next few months, I'm actually moving back up north. I'll be moving to Pennsylvania, right over the border from New York. So I keep thinking about the weather, and my kids are up there. That's why I'm going. But I'm a little nervous about the weather. I mean, that's where I'm from, so it's not like I don't know about it, but I'm, I guess, a little bit spoiled down here in Florida. So anyway, this is the way it's going to look, and then we'll put it on here, and I think that's really pretty. And then you can fill in, so I did this on the black card here, the black and white one. I just put in a few places, I put these in. So let's do that, and I found that if you put the glue on here, and let's actually put this down first. And if you put the glue on the paper instead of the little thing that you're filling in, it makes it easier. And I found that to be true with this card. I just put the glue on the card and then fit the piece in. So, and I love this polished pink. Wasn't a fan at first, but I've grown to love it. Okay, this is a little... There we go. So pretty. I love all the gold with the pink. I think it's really beautiful. So now I want to, before I put them in, I'm going to do my sentiment. And I decided to do the sentiment with gold and emboss it. So I will get this very large happy birthday. And that is from this set. The Slim Sayings, the happy birthday. And I just love how big these are. And we are going to just use my little Stampin' Boss Buddy, which we used to carry, and we don't carry them anymore, but I think you can get them like at a craft store, Michael's, or on Amazon maybe. So it's called an embossing buddy, and it just makes sure that your powder doesn't get staticky and stick all over. So we're going to use Versamark ink, and we're just going to line this up, and it's nice and straight, so it's pretty easy. And stamp it down. And you get this kind of watermark look. And then we'll use some gold embossing powder. I just keep them in this little container. Makes it easy to scoop it out, pour it on, and keep it all contained. So I'm going to just do that again. And we'll just kind of flick it a little bit. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to make a little noise. You can mute me if you want, if it's too loud for you. I'm going to take my heat tool and just run it for a second and then melt it. Oh. Okay, so now you want to make sure that it's all melted, and I do see the bottom of my P and the Y. I just have to do another shot on it. Hold on one second. So if it's not shiny, that means it's not melted. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so let's put this away. And then I use this Banner's, I think it's, I could never remember it. Banner's Build a Punch, Take a Punch, I don't know. I'll have it in my blog. Pick a Punch, pick up something like that. And it just lets you can hand banner this, or you can use the punch to do it. I like to use the punch. So it has a pointy side and a kind of a banner side. I'm going to use the pointy side because I kind of felt it goes with those pieces. So we'll just feed it in here. I like to feed it in the back, and then I can see what it looks like. Okay, and then let's feed in the other side. I love this punch. And it's not feeding in. Why is it not feeding in? Oh boy, I'm just all thumbs today. There we go. And we'll just do this, punch it. There we go. So now I can see where I want to put this. So I can kind of determine which pieces I want to fill in. And you can fill these in popping them up. And I was thinking maybe I would do that. So let's get a dimensional and just, of course it's not going to pop out. There we go. So if you were going to put the glue down, you would just put it there. I'm going to put the dimensional down and peel it off and just pop it up. See how that looks. Yeah, so that's cool. So let's see where else we want to do it. I'm going to have this here. So maybe I want to put one there. Kind of randomly. Just put them around. You could fill the whole thing if you wanted. And let's put one up here. And get one more. So save all these little pieces until you're done with your card, I would say. Oops, that's in a bad place. There we go. And do we want to put any more down? I'm thinking I want to put maybe one up here. So I'm going to take a little tiny piece of this and put it on here, just so it's a little bit random. And put it the right way here. That one looks like it has glue on it. And just pull that off and get another one. Oops, I don't know why I'm putting them on upside down. That's kind of weird. There we go. Okay, and then let's take some dimensionals and put them on this strip, and then we can work on the inside. So this is pretty quick, and I think it's really beautiful. I love having a slimline card. I think that's just a little bit different, especially if you have a lot to say. You can really use a lot of the inside. So we'll just put that right here. What do you think? Pretty, right? So now the inside layer, got all this stuff all over. The inside layer, so this is 8 1/4 by 3 1/4, I believe. And again, I'll have it on my, 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. So it's a little bit less than the 3 1/2 by 8 1/2. And I'm just going to use some polished pink and the You Are Really Fabulous on here. I'm going to put it up a little bit because I'm going to use some designer series paper on the bottom. And I want to make sure that my stamping comes out good before I put it down, but I also want to leave room for it. You Are Really Fabulous. I can think of a lot of people that I can give that to. And then let's take this is a 3/4 of an inch strip of paper, and I'm just going to put that here. And go right across the bottom. So it's got all this pretty pink and gold look on the inside and the outside. Hi, Denise. Thank you. Glad you joined. Sorry for some of the mishaps in the beginning, but I'm getting there. So then we'll just use our stamp and seal and put this on the inside, and we're done. So I think this is really beautiful to give a fabulous lady in your life, right? There we go. So this is the polished pink, and then this is the black and white, and then this is the one from yesterday, so the vertical or portrait size. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you don't have the set, even if you just get the envelopes are great if you make them. I mean, you could just make your own card. You don't have to use the backgrounds or anything, but I love that there's the envelopes for it. But thanks again for joining, and you guys have a great day. Bye.